Tools needed are proper PPE, including gloves, a 1/2 inch and 9/16 ratcheting box wrench, flathead screwdriver, pick, needle nose pliers, WD-40, grease, shop rags, and an optional vise. Begin by removing the acorn nuts. Use a 9/16 wrench to loosen them, and hold the screw in place from the back with the 1/2 inch wrench. Next, remove the screws, long and short blocks, plates, and actuator. The top 2 screws that go through the long block and forward-reverse selector are slightly longer, which allows the extra space for the mounting plate. Starting with the long block, use the needle nose pliers to remove the spring. Now take out the wheel carrier body. Spartan pro tip: wrap the wheel carrier body in a rag and place in a vise. This gives you 2 hands free to safely remove the clip without it flying off. Each wheel carrier body has a pin drive, bearing, and 2 washers. Use WD-40 and a rag to clean all parts. A flathead screwdriver or toothbrush can help remove debris from tight spots. How often you clean your power feed depends on a few factors: how frequently the machine is used, and whether the operator wipes down the cable as it's feeding back into the machine. A good rule of thumb is once a month or every 2 to 3 months, depending on use. To reassemble the wheel carrier body, start by sliding the bearing pin in partway. Next, add the washer, followed by the bearing itself. Once the bearing is seated, slide on the second washer. You might need to use a tool like a small pick or screwdriver to help guide it into place. Then you can push the pin all the way through. Secure it by reinstalling the clip. Now you can place the heavy-duty spring and bushing assembly inside the wheel carrier body. Make sure to grease the inside of the bearing block before installing the wheel carrier body. Now you can put the spring back in place and set the long block to the side. The short blocks, after you take out the wheel carrier body, has 2 thrust race washers and a thrust bearing. These can wear down over time, so make sure to check them carefully and replace if needed. Each wheel carrier body will be disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled using the same steps shown previously. Spartan pro tip: always inspect the drive bearings. These are responsible for feeding the cable in and out. Over time, they can wear down with use. Excessive pressure on the top knob can also cause them to wear out prematurely or even break. When using the power feed, only hand tighten the top knob just enough for it to grip the cable securely. Over tightening adds unnecessary pressure to the system and significantly reduces the lifespan of the drive bearings. Most wheel carrier bodies include a large O-ring seated in a groove. If the O-ring is loose or missing, it should be replaced. Make sure to grease the inside of the short block and in between each of the thrust race and bearing. The thrust bearing going in between the 2 thrust race washers. Each bearing block has 2 sides, one with a deeper cutout and one that is more shallow. When installing the wheel carrier body, make sure the ball end of the drive pin is in line with the deeper cutout. To reassemble your power feed, line up the backing plate and stationary plate together. Then you can start adding the screws. Make sure the 2 longer screws goes through the top 2 holes for your long block assembly. Remember, when installing the blocks, the deeper cutout and the ball end of the drive pin is facing up. Those line up with the back of the actuator. Now you can install the top stationary plate. Make sure the grooves on the back of the actuator line up with the ball end of the drive pins. Now, grease the ball ends and you can place your actuator on top. Add the top plate and the lock washers and acorn nuts to the bottom 4. Once secured, we'll maneuver the top 2 screws to add the mounting plate. Make sure to set the short blocks to the correct size of your cable that you're using. The short blocks are responsible for setting the cable size based on what cable you're using. To adjust the knobs, once your power feed is reassembled, turn the knob clockwise and pull out. Rotate through various settings until you have it set up for the size cable you need on both sides.